For our first COVID vaccine dose, we were too young to use the provincial booking system. It was 80 plus, and we were too old to register with the pharmacies, which were only taking people 60 to 64. The pharmacies were just dispensing AstraZeneca. It was frustrating to see both our older and younger friends getting vaccinated before us. Several weeks later, Ontario finally allowed our age group to register for AstraZeneca. When the Michael Guerin Pharmacy sent us an email, we were able to get 2 appointments on Tuesday, March 30th. There were only 3 or 4 people waiting ahead of us, and in total we were in and out within 25 minutes. Very easy. But we both had quite a strong reaction to the vaccine with chills and aches. Later, the problem became how to get a second dose on time. As vaccine supply increased, Pfizer and Moderna recipients could get their second dose within 8 weeks, but AstraZeneca recipients were required to wait a full 12 weeks before they could even book. On June 12th, public pressure on the Ontario government caused them to change their rules to 8 weeks, allowing us to book a second dose as of 8 a.m. June 14th on the provincial booking system. Unfortunately, they had just changed the Pfizer and Moderna eligibility to 21 and 28 days, so when we tried to book on Monday morning, the system was swamped. By the time we got to book, most appointments had been taken. There were none available in Scarborough before our scheduled trip to Victoria on June 23rd, so we booked appointments in Downsview and Hamilton a couple of days before our trip. Then we saw the Vaccine Hunter tweets about a pop-up clinic at Warden Hilltop in Scarborough on June 15th. It opened at 8 a.m. and we qualified since we had gotten our AstraZeneca shot 11 weeks earlier.
The vaccination effort, and take a look at this. The line snaking around buildings and blocks in Scarborough today. The demand for a second shot is obvious. More than 20% of adults in Toronto have now received 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine, but across the city, so many more are still in search of that second shot.
In fact, thousands of them turned out at one Scarborough pop-up clinic today, prepared to wait hours. CTV's Natalie Johnson is there live with more. Natalie.
Hi, Nathan. Well, they actually just closed the doors of this clinic here a short time ago, having administered all of their vaccine. A lot of people who tried to book an appointment through the provincial portal yesterday when the eligibility opened up and who were unsuccessful came here today hoping for a second dose. But this clinic was open to anyone in any M postal code who met the proper dosing interval, and the turnout was massive.
We've been here since 4.
By the time the clinic opened its doors at 8 a.m., hundreds of people had been there for hours.
I've been here since 4:30. I don't even know what time it is now. I've kind of lost all concept of time.
A line that wrapped around the Warden Hilltop Community Centre grounds and through the residential streets behind the complex.
Smallers, 3 years and younger on this side.
Thousands of people hoping to double their dose, waiting for word on whether they were close enough to the front to secure one of the 2,000 advertised shots of Pfizer.
We arrived at 6:35 a.m. with camp chairs and blankets and joined the long lineup. We took our phones so we could read something. We also took water, but were afraid we would not have access to washrooms. Despite the comments on the news video, we did not find the lineup chaotic. We had friendly people in front of us and behind us. It did seem strange at our age to be lining up with 12-year-olds. Shortly after 8 a.m., the line started to move, but that was because security guards were rerouting the lineup back and forth on the community center property to free up neighborhood sidewalks.
This is absolutely disorganized from someone who's been here from 4 a.m. There's been massive amounts of chaos.
The line goes way back because we've been seeing a lot of people.
I feel bad for the people that have been waiting over there for 3 hours and they're not going to get it today.
At 8:25 a.m., the clinic tweeted that all the doses had been spoken for. Tickets handed out to those guaranteed a shot.
Thanks very much.
But even hours later, tickets were still being distributed after many people had left. The clinic saying it had been able to bring in 700 additional shots due to high demand.
Nerve-wracking. We didn't know if we were going to get it, so we're just a relief.
We got our numbers, so we're very excited. Just made it.
Fortunately, we didn't see the tweets that indicated all vaccines had been allocated just after 8:25. We just kept waiting and were handed our cards just after 10 a.m. We felt great after that. We finally reached the front of the line and got inside the clinic just after 12 noon. We were vaccinated with Pfizer between 12:10 and 12:12. After our mandatory 15-minute rest period to see if we had an allergic reaction, we were out of there. Total time waiting and receiving the vaccination was about 6 hours. Our reaction to the Pfizer shot was not as bad as the AstraZeneca, but that might have been because we rested and did nothing for the rest of the day. It was such a relief to get our second vaccination and be done with this.